What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to MANIACITV, man. Today, we got how NBA Youngboy's dad got 55 years to life in prison from the Hip Hop Daily YouTube channel, man. Now, listen, we know all about NBA Youngboy. We know all about his career. We know all about his triumphs. We know about his tragedies. But I don't know too much about his dad. I want to say the first time I heard him mention his dad, and this is just my, own experience with his music, was on, I think it was the All In song. He brought him up, but I don't know too much about his dad, so we gonna see what this is all about, man. We ain't doing no more talking, let's get it.
NBA Youngboy ain't just one of the hottest rappers in the game, he's also one of the most savage. But that ain't happened out of nowhere. Come to find out, his pops is certified in the streets too, and he's been locked up since Youngboy was a kid. Let's get into the true story of how Youngboy's dad got snitched on by his own brother and sentenced to 55 years in prison. On December 1st, 2009, Youngboy...
Nigga, this looked just like B-Way. He copied and pasted his face onto B-Way Youngie. This is B-Way Grony. This is B-Way Grony. This B-Way OG. He look exactly like his pops, yo.
On December 1st, 2009, Youngboy's pops, Jeffrey Staten, and two dudes walked into Albi's Market and Deli in Baton Rouge around 9 a.m. Court documents say Jeffrey approached an employee named Sam Tran, who was at a check cashing station in the shop, and pulled a gun on him. He told Tran to get down on the ground, but the dude ain't listen fast enough, so Jeffrey hopped over the counter and pistol whipped him in the head. Then one of the dudes working with Jeffrey put zip ties on his wrist and a bag over his head.
Why did it sound like some Menace to Society shit? I'm mad at using the movie clip too.
They cleared out the cash registers, but they ain't stopped there. Jeffrey went back to the dude he pistol whipped and demanded more money. Tran told him that the store had a safe with more cash inside of it, but it would take 10 minutes to open up. Unfortunately for him, Jeffrey wasn't trying to hear that and just kept demanding more bread. At this point, Tran was still tied up with a bag over his head, so there wasn't much he could do anyways. Then Jeffrey shot him in the leg, and he and both dudes ran out of the shop. Even though the lick went sour, it should have been easy for Youngboy's dad to get away. Baton Rouge is a wild city where the robbery rate is over double the national average, and most crimes like this don't get solved unless the cops see who did it right after they commit it. Back in 2016, Youngboy dropped the track Cross Me, where he raps, "On my heart, that's on my soul, I won't tell no lies. Uncle told, now my daddy doing 55. It turns out, that wasn't just a random line in the song, but the truth behind how his dad ended up serving 55 years in prison. The cops brought in Jeffrey's brother, Dallas Staten, for questioning, and it took less than an hour for him to start singing and tell him everything.
Oh, telling ass nigga.
Jeffrey's brother, Dallas Staten, for questioning, and it took less than...
Oh, telling ass nigga. Come on, man. And like you said, like Baton Rouge, it's so much crime going on in the city. I guarantee if nigga wouldn't have told, I don't know, if nigga wouldn't have told, they would have got away with that shit. 55 years for a robbery, yeah, somebody got shot, but 55 years? Come on, man. That's crazy though. So Youngboy even addressed it. He said, I won't tell no lies. My uncle snitched. That's crazy. Imagine getting snitched on by your own family. Yo, blood brother.
55 years in prison. The cops brought in Jeffrey's brother, Dallas Staten, for questioning, and it took less than an hour for him to start singing and tell him everything.
That's crazy.
According to Dallas, he went to the store to ask about cashing the check that belonged to his friend. While he was at the counter, he told the cops that a guy came up with a gun and made him help out with the robbery. The cops pressed him about who the guy was, and Dallas admitted that it was his brother Jeffrey. Dallas told the cops that Jeffrey talks about robbing the store on several occasions, but Dallas told him not to. He also said he got into a fight with Jeffrey a few days before the robbery went down because Dallas ain't want to hit the lick with him. Jeffrey wanted Dallas to wear a mask and help him shake down the store and use his apartment to facilitate the robbery. Dallas told the cops he refused to help out and they want his brother to use his apartment to plan the hit, but their sister Jada Staten gave Jeffrey permission to do so. According to Dallas, he went to the store early that day because he thought Jeffrey would rob it at night. During a police interview, he said that it was just a coincidence he was there when the robbery went down and that he had nothing to do with this. In the middle of his trial, Dallas told the court he was having money issues with his brother before the robbery. Jeffrey had asked him for a loan, and Dallas told him no at first, but later said he tried to get him some cash.
You know the crazy part about this? If y'all niggas would have waited just a few more years, just like a couple more years, just like 5-6 years, man, y'all would have been set. You wouldn't have had no money issues. That's crazy though, man. So he painted YB dad out to be the whole like mastermind behind this shit. He said he had some loose screws. He said he wanted me to, he tried to recruit me to rob the store with him, officer. It wasn't my idea, it was him. Like, your own brother, my boy. Come on.
His brother before the robbery. Jeffrey had asked him for a loan, and Dallas told him no at first, but later said he tried to get him some cash. Dallas ain't had no spare cash, but he told Jeffrey that he had a check he was supposed to cash for one of his homies that was locked up. Here's how Dallas said everything went down. His cousin Franklin drove him to Albies that morning so he could ask about cashing the check. Then while he was talking to Tran, Jeffrey walked in and pulled the burner out. Dallas said he was initially in disbelief about what was happening. Even though Jeffrey was talking about hitting the store, Dallas said he had no idea it was actually going down. Dallas testified that Jeffrey started yelling and acting strangely. He tossed a bag full of zip ties to Dallas, who put him on Tran and another employee named Than Nguyen, while a third suspect held him at gunpoint. Tran told the court that when Jeffrey started yelling at him to get on the floor, Dallas tried to act like he was just an innocent bystander and said, "I'm just a customer. Don't hurt me." When Jeffrey hopped over the counter and pistol whipped Tran, Dallas asked him why he did it. Then Jeffrey shot Tran in the leg, and Dallas asked him again what he was doing. When Jeffrey and the third dude ran out of the store, Nguyen loosened the ties on his wrist and grabbed a gun behind the counter. Dallas stayed behind to untie Tran and say sorry. Then he ran out of the store and warned Jeffrey that Nguyen had a gun.
So is this all on like camera footage? Because that's crazy as hell if that is true.
To untie Tran and say sorry. Then he ran out of the store and warned Jeffrey that Nguyen had a gun. Nguyen ran outside and tried to shoot him, but his gun jammed after letting off 2 shots. Nguyen saw Dallas leaving a red Mazda, which is how police tracked him down. When they searched his apartment, they found zip ties like the ones used during the robbery, which was all they needed to arrest him and bring him in for questioning. Dallas told the court that he only ran away because he didn't think the police would believe his story. But this is where his side of the situation starts getting strange. During the trial, he testified that he was hoping Nguyen would break free of the zip ties and shoot one of the other dudes. But it's a known fact that he yelled at Jeffrey to warn him about the gun. He was also caught lying about other details. And then, the story took a weird twist. In December '07, 2 grad students at Louisiana State University were shot and killed inside their campus apartment. There was no leads at first, but a month later, the police received a call from a man who claimed he was a suspect in the case. The caller listed his friends' names and told the cops they knew about the murders and who drove the car. He told them he had direct knowledge about the murders and named a few people he thought might have committed the crime, including himself. Sergeant Don Kelly with the Baton Rouge Police Department put out a statement saying, "Thousands of man-hours were spent over the next week by detectives, analysts, crime lab technicians, patrol officers, tactical teams, administrators, and others from multiple law enforcement agencies attempting to verify this information."
Nigga, they brought the whole law to the city just from one nigga telling? That shit crazy as hell.
Crime lab technicians, patrol officers, tactical teams, administrators, and others from multiple law enforcement agencies attempting to verify this information. It seemed like there was finally a break in the case, but it all turned out to be a lie. The police tracked the call back and found out it came from Dallas Staten. He didn't admit to being the caller, but the police held him on outstanding warrants while they looked into it.
I feel like he just a sloppy criminal. I don't know what it is. I just getting the vibes he just a sloppy criminal. Like, why would you make the call and admit that you admit about the murders to backtrack, and then when they trace your phone, no, that wasn't me, and then the whole robbery, I feel like he just was sloppy with it, man. Like, hold on.
He didn't admit to being the caller, but the police held him on outstanding warrants while they looked into it. The cops brought in the friends that Dallas had knew about the murders, and none of them knew what was going on. Kelly said, "I feel sorry for them. They were victims in this thing too. They were absolutely caught up in this thing just as much as we were and everybody. We were all duped by this one individual. They used Dallas' phone records and his own mama to prove it was him. They played back the original call for his mom, and she immediately recognized her son's voice on the line. No one knows why he made the call, but it does make his testimony in the robbery case kind of shaky.
Man.
If he's willing to lie about being the lead suspect in a double homicide for no reason, it makes it hard to trust anything he says. Regardless of how it all went down, the end result was NBA Youngboy's dad getting a 55-year sentence because his own brother snitched on him. Having his pops locked up since he was a little kid had a massive impact on Youngboy. His mom couldn't take care of him, so he lived with his grandma. And without someone there to guide him, he jumped off the porch at a young age and dropped out of school in 9th grade. He ended up getting arrested for robbery right after dropping out and spent his time in juvie writing songs for his first project. Youngboy talks about his dad in an interview and said, "My daddy in jail. I talk to him every day. He just be wanting money and shit though. I still call him daddy to make him feel like somebody. I send him money just so he feel like he got somebody there, cause I know how it is when you in jail. I barely know him though." When Jeffrey's sentence was handed down, he tried to have it reconsidered and reduced, but the court denied the motion. Then he filed an appeal saying that his constitutional right against double jeopardy was violated. The double jeopardy clause means you can't be tried multiple times for the same offense. and you also can't be punished multiple times for one offense. Jeffrey tried to argue that the court was punishing him twice for the same crime, so his sentence should be reduced, but they denied his appeal and stated, rather than being punished twice for the same offense, the evidence showed that two separate crimes occurred, which were independently proven. Jeffrey's been locked up since 2009, but
They've been doing them grimy though. But that's so YB doesn't have the best relationship with his dad, which is understandable because you know he been locked up. What he said since '09. YB was born in what 2000, so he was about 9 years old. You don't have much of a relationship at that point, you know, and especially the position that YB is in now. You know, anybody could just want money. You know, family. A lot of times family might just be an obligation, but for YB to still, you know, send him some bread or, you know, to still call him pops or whatever to make him feel good so that he has somebody, you know, that's real. That's real. And I could definitely respect YB for that because, you know, that's crazy. You know, even if it ain't genuine, you know, he got a son that's a millionaire, multi-millionaire at that, you know, we don't know the true aspects of their personal life and their personal relationships, man, but that's deep though.
The double jeopardy clause means you can't be tried multiple times for the same offense.
This is crazy.
And you also can't be punished multiple times for one offense. Jeffrey tried to argue that the court was punishing him twice for the same crime, so his sentence should be reduced, but they denied his appeal and stated, rather than being punished twice for the same offense, the evidence showed that two separate crimes occurred, which were independently proven. Jeffrey's been locked up since 2009, but he ain't gave up on the early release. A rapper named Youngboy been keeping in contact with him while he's inside. He's released a few videos of Jeffrey on his YouTube channel, and in one of them, Jeffrey says, got some stuff going on in the courts. I'll be out there pretty soon. Getting snitched on by your own brother will make a lot of dudes angry for life. But Jeffrey seems like he used his time in prison to mellow out and forgive people. He said in another video, forgiveness is a big part of life, bruh. You know we can't hold bitterness in our heart and expect good things to happen.
You know, he gonna get out and he gonna be on the right path. You know, I don't know where his brother is. I don't know if his brother is locked up, but you know, I know he gonna want to see bro, you know, it's like bygones be bygones, you know. And you know, we gonna make it do what it do. He gonna be a free man once again. You know, he ain't gonna hold no grudge even though his bro snitched on him and set him up for 55 years of his life to be taken away. But you know, family reunion, everything it's gonna be cordial, right? Y'all, right? It's gonna be cordial. Let this man, hey, free Jeffrey, man. Free that nigga Jeffrey. Free Jeffrey.
Said in another video, forgiveness is a big part of life, bruh. You know we can't hold bitterness in our heart and expect good things to happen. So all those who've hurt me and abandoned me and did me wrong, I forgive you and I love you, and it's all good.
Forgiveness is a big thing, bro. Forgiveness is a big part of life, bro. You know, we can't hold bitterness in our heart, you know, and expect good things to happen. But to all those who have hurt me and abandoned me and did me wrong, I forgive you and I love you, and it's all good.
Hopefully he can get his legal situation sorted out and reunite with his son. But Youngboy got issues of his own right now. On Thursday, May 19th, an artist named Chris James shared an iMessage conversation between him and Youngboy on Instagram. In the text, Youngboy revealed that he don't think he'll be free or alive much longer. He said, LOL, I'm headed to a cell or the grave very soon. I wouldn't give a what her or who thought. Murder me. I wish the best for y'all. A few days before that post, DJ Academics broke the news on Youngboy allegedly turning down a $25 million deal with Atlantic. He's had issues with the label for a minute, and back in February, he said they was the reason he ain't go #1 with his album Colors. But even though the situation ain't
Colors should have went #1. No doubt about it. No debate. I ain't arguing with nobody. Colors should have went #1.
been perfect, fans were shocked that he turned down that kind of money. Youngboy obviously got a lot going on right now, but hopefully he can duck off and stay out of any more legal trouble. He got 7 kids of his own to take care of, and he don't want them to end up in the same situation as him with their dad locked up their entire lives.
You know, and I was about to say, you know, statistically, Youngboy is set up to fail. Statistically, you know, looking at, if history has taught you anything, if you have a parent in prison, you on the track to it. And I hope, you know, Youngboy he's made a lot of mistakes in his life, but I just hope that this was the one that kind of, you know, steered him straight. That's gonna really get him right. You know, avoid that prison time. Get this man just one more opportunity, one more chance. You know, the year leading up to that arrest, most recent arrest of his, man, I really saw something different in YB. I saw something different in his demeanor, just his mood and how he was moving. You know, now he at the point where he just don't really give a fuck. He kind of feels in the back of his mind that this might be it. That's probably why he's dropping so much music. he probably feels like this might be it for me, my career, my life. It could be done like that. I could be like my pops. You know, I just hope that Youngboy can break that generational curse that's going on, man, and continue to be great, man. But this is crazy though. This is all new information to me, man. But how NBA Youngboy's dad got 55 years to life in prison. Link down below in the description for y'all to check it out in its entirety with no interruptions. Y'all new to the channel, y'all rock with me. Want daily reaction videos, man? Hit that subscribe button for me to the next video. I'll see y'all then. Thank you for watching MANIACITV. I'm out.